What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In today's video, we are hopping into Ultimate Wolverine issue number 4. And so far, we have seen amazing stuff coming out of Ultimate Wolverine, jumping us into this Ultimate Universe. We have Colossus Magic and Omega Red. The three of them together run the Eurasian Republic. This is one of two places for all known mutant activity. And under their Directorate X, a top secret division in their government, this program had been designed to exploit the unique genetic powers exhibited in mutant kind. This is why we have seen Logan turned into their most lethal weapon, aka the Winter Soldier. And so far we've seen a handful of individuals like Kitty Pryde, like Gambit, but in this nation that is filled with mutants, we have to ask ourselves, where are the Omegas? Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, it's gonna run a little bit differently. We get dialogue from what appears to be some doctors working under Directorate X. Doctors and nurses that are really in charge of maintaining Logan, their Winter Soldier. Anytime he comes back to base, they're the ones in charge of making sure he's healing properly, he's being fed, he's hydrated, all that good stuff so that he's ready for his next mission. Visually, what we're seeing is a giant polar bear taking on a wolf. We see their battle throughout most of this comic, and this is more metaphor and symbolism, representations of the animal instinct, the relentlessness, the hunter in them, the animal aspect in all of us. But as these doctors sit here and have a conversation, well, as the nurses have a conversation, Logan has returned from what had happened to him after Kitty Pryde in the last issue. After Kitty Pryde had reached into his brain, filled him with memories of his past, of who he used to be, of the man that he once was. But he's pretty beat up right now in the state that he's in. The ones in charge of taking care of him, they're more concerned with his twitching, and it almost looks like he's looking at them. Now, they try to calm each other down, saying that he's sedated, that he's not actually looking at you. The guy's completely knocked out right now. Another one saying that they might want to grab the guards at this point. They're not really sure. Like, this guy's, he's a freaking killing weapon, but they've never seen him like this before. Sounding like he's in pain. They've gave him so much sedation, you can knock out freaking King Kong. His vitals showing that he may be going into cardiac arrest. They want to get him out of the chamber. At least one of them do, but another is concerned that they get him out of that chamber, it's going to be bad for everybody. But the concern that Logan may die, nobody wants to explain that to the Rasputins. And so as the three of these argue over if they're going to open this up, do you want to die because that's what's going to happen if we open this up, and his heart rate dropping, blood pressure just bottoming out. Finally, they come to the conclusion that they have to open up the chamber as they watch his vitals, but also keep an eye on his claws. His heart rate begins to increase. Brain functioning is changing. He is returning back to normal. With the Winter Soldier almost stepping out of the chamber, they quickly close it. They emergency lock it, and then they try to pump the room with more sedative. Now they're concerned maybe he's gonna break through. Not even sure if he can break down that door. With his claws, it may be possible. Trying to reassure themselves that there's no way that he could get that through that even with those claws. As they see the monitor showing his heart rate spiking, they say that it's cracking. The chamber is breaking. Trying to reassure themselves that it'll hold. The others aren't so sure anymore. They've administered as much sedative as they can, and he's not going down. He's not stopping. The glass is breaking. As one screams to hit the alarm, the glass breaks. And as Wolverine stands there menacing before them, his claws come out, and there is not a single soul that is safe from him. Nobody able to stop him. No one able to bring him down. Nobody but the doctor. With the doctor coming into the room and yelling Sputnik. This is where we finally see the Winter Soldier. We see the story that has unfolded. We see him claws out in a room filled with dead bodies on the ground and blood all across the walls. But the doctor was able to stop him, commanding some of the guards to go over and put on the shackles. His claws retract, and it becomes the subservient Winter Soldier yet again. This is where she knows what she must do. Now, in controlling Logan, it has always been a 3-point plan: sedatives, re-education and manipulation, and telepathy. If one levee breaks, the other one holds. And so whatever tether's left, the doctor needs somebody to reinforce it. A telepath. Usually she needs sanction from the Rasputins to do this, but right now it is too imperative for her to get Wolverine under control. This is where she goes down to Cerebellum, this universe's Cerebro. This is the solution to the Winter Soldier's problem. Whatever happened out there severed the link, but this is their way to fix it. And we see pinned up, sedated, the Phoenix specimen. Floating above her is a brain hooked up to a system. This is how they control him, because they control Jean Grey. And before this issue ends, we have a nice little tidbit of information here, extremely vital to understanding what has happened with mutant kind. The notes on Cerebellum, the notes on Xavier, and the notes on Jean Grey. Now, the Charles Xavier body remained in a freezer beneath the Kremlin for some years after his death, all under the purview of Directorate X. Nobody quite knew what to do with it. Reading the files concerning the Xavier specimen and found them to be quite captivating. Between him and Eric, the so-called Magneto specimen, they could have controlled the world. Their powers seemed to be boundless, beyond imagination. Thus, these were deemed Omega level mutants. But right now, as it stands, no Omega level currently exists. And the one known specimen who does reside in Republic control, there is strangely very little written about Xavier, about Magneto, or Omega level mutants. Now, they removed the brain of Xavier. In life, Xavier's body was tragically weak, but his brain was massively powerful. They preserved it well enough. They figured out a way to use that brain, and having in their custody Jean Grey, they nicknamed the Phoenix specimen. But with the Phoenix specimen being so supremely powerful, it is necessity that they keep her fully sedated and controlled at all times. Confined to the cerebellum, she is fed and hydrated, only with the minimal of essential needs to survive. Due to her inactivity, atrophy has set in to such an extent it renders her body useless. Even if she were to gain consciousness, even if she did break free, she would not be able to escape because her body, it would be completely useless. Her legs simply wouldn't carry her. But the Phoenix specimen necessitated a certain amount of suggestion. As she remained in a sedated state, it occurred to them that they may be able to utilize the Xavier specimen to control her further. Hosting the Xavier brain above her, they allowed it to soothe, direct, and amplify the Phoenix specimen's abilities through a targeted electrical impulse. They are able to control Phoenix through this, and in turn, she controls the designated specimens. They can further amplify this using the cerebellum. This is how they control Logan, and that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. It's very interesting that there's currently no Omegas existing. Is this by design? Or are the Omegas hiding that are existing? There's gotta be Omegas out there that are in hiding. We already see in Ultimate X-Men, I haven't been keeping up with the line as much, but we see that there's mutants out there that exist that are not as public as you may think. And we know that there's a resistance in America. Wolverine was one of those resistance members. Kitty Pryde and the others as well. So there are no known Omegas right now. But before Magneto and Charles could really do anything, they were taken care of. We have to assume by the Maker just immediately took the two of them off the board. Because the two of them together, they may have been unstoppable. The Maker probably would have been taken down had Magneto and Charles had the time to actually work together on a counteroffensive. But the Maker was smart in what he's done. Mutant kind has a leash on it, controlled by other mutants that are seeking power, the Rasputin family. Absolutely ingenious. Mutant kind can never be a problem if they're out there really policing themselves, controlling themselves, experimenting on themselves. and in lieu all controlled by the maker. But one thing we have come to learn about mutant kind, no matter what the universe, mutant kind always rises up. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that is going on in this series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's going to get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers from $1 to $50. From loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.